Here behind me you can see a river that used to flow throughout the year, and this river is completely dry because of someone damming up this river for an extended period of time, and government dragging their heels in making sure that this person that's illegally dammed up this river actually releases water. But the good news is this morning I could hear water flowing for the first time. The last time I was here at this farm, the water problems were already quite severe, and now, I mean, this hole over here, there's quite a bit of water here normally. It's completely dry, and the farmers here and downstream cannot carry on with small subsistence farming because of this. So this is a real concern. I speak about the water issues in the country a lot, and as I go around South Africa, I see many other areas where the same thing is happening, where it's not a lack of water, it's water supply being withheld from ordinary citizens that just want to make a living. This is a real attack on freedom and people just wanting to be self-reliant. Self-reliance is not part of the United Nations agenda. In fact, they want to make sure that they can control all resources supplied to humans like us, food and water, and we're not going to stand for this. Hi everyone, just after you've seen the insert now, you would have seen this river on this wonderful farm that was dry, and now there's water flowing, and at the end of this video I'll show you what it looks like when water actually flows where it should be flowing, when it hasn't been flowing for a very long time. And with me I have the owner of this farm that'll be talking to you about the situation that he found himself in and that the farm found itself in because of a lack of flowing water in a river that runs through the farm. And you said to me that one of the reasons why you considered buying the farm is because there was running water. Maybe you can just introduce yourself first to
Okay, so I'm Jacques Jordan, and I live on Santa Paloma. My farm's name is Santa Paloma. It's the Eastern Cape. And the reason why I bought this farm was for the water at the time. The guy, when I bought the farm, it says, and people around here said for the last 40 years, the water's never stopped. As a fact, for the 15 years I've been here, I remember once, about 2 weeks, no water. Then the water came. But for the last 3 years now, we've been noticing less and less or more intervals of no water flowing. And it was only in last year during the COVID, August, I think it was the 7th of August, we haven't had water for weeks.
the last time we were here, there was no water then.
Yes.
Already. So, I mean, and that was a couple of months ago.
Yeah, but that was the start of the fight, how we discovered why we had no water.
I remember you had just discovered that a dam wall was built in the river illegally.
Exactly.
Because you have to get special permission to build a dam in a river, and there's processes to be followed, right?
That's exactly. Now, we discovered it kind of by accident. I came back from Port Elizabeth, and as I passed a farm about 5 kilometers upstream from us, I saw this dam built on the left-hand side. I went to Google and checked it and saw the dam was actually built on our river. I went to Department of Water and Sanitation the next morning. I reported it. I actually went to the dam.
It's obviously
first.
quite urgent because,
Of
I mean,
course.
you wanted to
But then,
address it immediately.
But then we had no water.
Yeah.
We run a permaculture center and an outdoor education center.
And I want you to explain that a bit more later. I'll talk about that.
So we had to keep certain things alive.
Yeah.
I mean, I built in the system for 15 years, so it's important for us to keep it alive. And the reason why I bought the farm was because of the water. So it made sense to me buy the farm, and I would have water for sustainability. That's what we're all about. So I did go to this. I went to the farm, saw this dam full, a dam about 5 hectares in size.
That's massive.
Yeah, if you do the calculation, the dam wall is more than 5 meters high.
That's 10 rugby fields, just to put it into perspective for people. I mean,
at least, yeah. But right next to this, the guys had a quarry as well. A quarry with the same amount of water, just much deeper. But the surface area about 5 hectares as well. So I did go to the Department of Water and Sanitation, which assured me they knew about this dam, and they classified it as an illegal dam. But they heard about this dam already in March of 2019.
Did other people complain at the time?
We don't know how they knew, but it didn't affect us. We just put this down to the drought.
Yeah.
We accepted it as the drought. When we saw this, we realized obviously it's a major problem. I went to them and I asked them, so what have they done? And they actually gave this guy permission to apply for a 24G or something like that, which
Okay.
means he can fix his mistake afterwards. But no one ever contacted us about it. So they were willing to give him,
They were working with the
they
offender.
were working with him, although they classified it as or labeled it as illegal dam, but they still gave him permission to say, rectify your problem.
They didn't say go and break down the dam
didn't say
wall and
break it
give the
down.
people their water.
No, only when we started complaining, when we realized this is actually the reason for us not having water. But we don't go around each other's farms and check who's got a dam and who's not. Our principle is that you stay out of the river. We don't. We obviously use water as we need because we have the right. We have
Yeah.
for certain rights we can use water from the river. But as far as we know, and the way we want to be is, don't dam up a river.
Yes.
You don't cut. You don't kill the ecosystem. This is what's happened.
And I'm very concerned about this because when we walked down to the river yesterday with these small little pools and we saw one little fish in this one pool that would soon die because some of the pools, obviously the larger pools, still gets filter water coming through, but the river's not running at all.
Not at all. Now, this is what happened over the last 15 years. I saw that life was actually coming back. You could see more fish. And then last year it was wiped out completely. Completely. I had the guys from the Department of Environmental Affairs here. They did a study, quite shocked. But since then, nothing's happened.
So they went to the river, they actually took pictures, didn't they?
Pictures, reported it, but nothing's happened. Numerous occasions we've had to ask them what's happening, and the excuse is just the report is nearly finished. And this has been going on now for the last another 6 months now. They've already known about this since March of 2019. And until today, nothing has happened.
And now you basically need to ask this farmer to release water from his dam. And you should have nothing to do with this farmer, right? Nothing at all. You should just have a beautiful river running through your farm. And that's it.
I thought it was our constitutional right to have the environment protected, which it says so in the Constitution.
Yes, that's correct.
And also the right, it also says so in the Water Act,
Yeah.
that no one is allowed to dam up without permission. Now, no one's allowed to build or cut off water.
But you have to wonder why government has not instructed this person immediately to take the dam wall down, then apply for whatever permission, and then construct the dam wall again.
I cannot talk for government, obviously, and I can't say what's their reasons. What all we find is that they're just not looking after our rights. This guy has got a big corporation, and if that's the reason, I wouldn't know. And if he's in bed with government, I wouldn't know either. But we're just not getting any response from government.
But I always say, look at the facts. This is what I say. I say, look at the facts, and then you make your own conclusion. This is why I'm making the video, because I believe that you, the public, should be the judge and the jury. You should decide what you think is happening. And just remember that this is not the only place where this is taking place. All the way up to Limpopo and Northwest, where we've traveled, same type of problems occur. And it makes you ask, what is the reason behind this? And why does government not act immediately to rectify something that is illegal under our current laws? And you must have asked the same question as well. I mean, it's actually unbelievable to you what's
In actual
happened.
fact, when I went to the guy that owns this property, he wouldn't see me. I tried 4 times, and eventually he got a court interdict against me. I never ever saw him.
Yeah.
I know what he looks like. I've met him years ago, but until now, I haven't had a chance to speak to him. Got a court interdict against me, which the government was aware of. I told him before the time, but nothing's happened. So now they're expecting me, so I can't even ask him for water.
Yeah,
I have to try and work
do.
through someone to get water,
Yes.
which I don't think is the correct way.
You shouldn't have to ask for water,
No,
because it's a flowing river.
Exactly. They should install, the system should be in such a way that they should give him the instructions, let the water run until such time as you've got the authority.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened. And now we've had water now the last 4 weeks again, not a drop of water. Like you saw yesterday,
Yes.
the river's dry. And this is so you have to start in the environment. It kills it, then you get a bit of water, it just recovers, gets killed again. And it's just as if the Department of Environmental Affairs couldn't care about the environment.
But this is one of the big things I know my wife's also concerned about. It's the fact that the people in government don't actually consider the environment at all.
Not at all.
We can't see that in what they actually do. I always say, look at the evidence. Once again, here we have evidence that water is not a priority, and the environment, because you mentioned earlier today to me that seasonal floods is necessary to flush out the system, etc.
For the last 3 years, we have not had a flood down this river because obviously the water can't come. It's blocked up by this dam, and the water is just slowly. So we have a build-up of toxins in the river which never gets flushed out. Yeah. So at the first time when I had the Department of Environmental Affairs here, I said to them, surely you guys would be considered or would be concerned about the environment. You know what the lady said? You guys have to mention in your report that you are the guys suffering. You never mentioned environment once. It wasn't important to them. It's all about the people that need to have the water. I mean, yes, we do need the water, but the environment itself needs the water. Without the environment, we can't exist.
The environment needs it first. Just to tie in with that, I would like you to tell the people what you actually do on this farm and why the water is important to you.
We use the river obviously as an ecosystem. We run a farm as an ecosystem. We do permaculture, where we teach people sustainability. We obviously need water because we plant. We teach people to plant. We've got animal systems, but it's also sustainability. I don't do commercial farming, and we do outdoor education, where we actually have kids come to the farm and we teach them. And one of the big things was to teach the kids the ecosystem, where they go down to the river and they actually do a study of the ecosystem. There's just no ecosystem there.
Yeah, and you actually had large groups of people here in the past that would come here and actually go down
up to
the
60
river.
kids at the time would come here, schools would come here and spend 2 days in outdoor education. Okay, COVID has had an effect on this, but I mean, if they come back now, I've got nothing to take them back to.
Yeah,
just a dead system.
I wonder how long it would take for the system to actually recover.
The previous time, I've been here 15 years, and only in the last few years I've seen, it repairs itself, but you can't interfere. You can't keep on interfering. You've got to let the system be. So kind of remove the dam, and it carries on the way it was before.
Yeah.
If it's drought, we accept it. But you can't have the water cut down, cut off by someone that is actually wanting to export avos, like we mentioned today. Government will not see any money of that, or maybe they would from taxes. But us as normal citizens would not see anything from the water that they will be taking from the system to export their avos. So,
and I often speak about that in my meetings, the fact that many farmers don't actually supply South Africa. Many of them export all of their goods overseas. So we need to look after the farmers that actually provide something for the country. And to me, that should be a focus. And it seems at this stage as if the smaller scale farmers are just not considered.
Not even considered at all.
No.
We literally have to beg. So I feel like a second-hand, I don't know what you want to call it, to go and ask someone for water.
Like a peasant that has
like a peasant, exactly.
Water.
And then they release the water, and you've got to be satisfied. I don't think this is my right is to have water at all times. Well, not just me, the ecosystem.
Yeah, the ecosystem.
Environment needs it. And it clearly says so in the law that you cannot take more water than if it would affect any downside users or the environment. Never mind shutting it off completely, closing the valve.
Yeah, it's almost unheard of.
Completely unheard of.
Because now there's someone that's controlling a valve to decide what will happen to the river downstream.
So what it looks like is every time we put up a big fight, then the Department of Water and Sanitation sends someone out there to open the valve. But it looks like we get a bit of a surge of water come past, and then someone closes the valve down, and then the minute they leave. It's not as they give instruction and follow through, or even check up and say, guys, we've given an instruction, abide by the rules, but there's no follow-up, and there's no consequence at this stage, not that we can see.
Well, I really want to thank you for speaking to me about this, and I will follow up with some other cases around the country, because water to me, it's a first life source. If we don't have water and food security, we have nothing. And without water, we die in a very short space of time. And all the animals down this river, they're battling. I think we saw one crab and one little fish in the one hole. So the ecosystem is shot. A big knock. And most of the river, you can't see filter water just underneath the rocks. It's dry. It's completely dry. And it's really sad to see that, because myself, as an avid freshwater fisherman, I like to see good conditioned rivers. I'm used to seeing what they look like. And it's vital that we start focusing on local issues instead of big international issues with regards to the environment. You know,
It
everyone
starts at
talks
home.
about
Yeah.
global warming, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be concerned about that. What I'm saying is you should first worry about your own backyard.
On your backyard.
Yes, and take care of that. And I think that is vital. Now, if anyone wants to get in touch with you to basically be able to find out what you're doing here with permaculture, or learn about permaculture, or come for a course on permaculture, I will provide the link in the description below the video, so they can contact Jacques. You can contact him, and he will be able to then guide you and help you. It's a wonderful facility that you have here. I can see you spent a lot of money and time and effort and hard work. I think it's more hard work, and it's about building a community of people that can be sustainable and can literally work in harmony with the environment.
That's our plan. Yeah.
Yeah, many of the things that you do here is you actually complete the cycles. I mean, you showed me the worm farm earlier, where you use worms to actually make compost and everything else.
We follow certain principles, and it's all about enhancing and protecting the environment.
Yeah.
That is why it's so sad for us that government, we go out of our way, and they actually help to kill off our system. The system that we actually trying to protect is not important to them.
Yeah.
That's what it seems.
That is why we need to become the government, and the sooner we do that, the better the people take responsibility. And thanks for being a citizen instead of a subject, and actually taking this to government and actually doing something about it, because I think a lot of people can learn from that. A lot of people aren't willing to take those steps, because this is not just going to benefit you, it'll benefit all the farmers downstream, it'll benefit the river. So thank you for everything that you've done to try and restore this river, and thank you very much for watching this video. Remember, all the details for contacting Santa Paloma will be in the description below this video. Hi everyone. At the end of this video, I want to show you now what the results are of efforts, and when Jacques actually went to go through the effort of trying to get water to the river on his farm. And this is the result. So this morning I took a video at this area. There was no water here, and now you can see behind me a beautiful flowing river. And this is how it should be. It might not always flow this strong. As you can see, even the dogs are enjoying it. But it's really a wonderful thing to see, and all the people on the farm are so excited about the fact that there's water running through the farm again. And I really want to thank you for watching this video. Please remember to share, so that the people around the country can see what is important and how important water is to people, and especially for the environment and for the farmers out there. When you don't have water, you don't have life. Thank you very much.